to life than that. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Familiar faces come and go, flashing their credentials. Who survived another year and who's the most insufferable? Posturing on full display, beaten muscles, flexing studs rally, duke it out to prove who's master of the nursery. I could not care less who wins. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Someone who lives on the edge and sees the beauty and not the danger. Someone who lives to the full and does not worry about what's expected. Give me a mate who rides the riptide, doing mad tricks on the ocean waves, undulating. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk. Give me a gentle, graceful, free-sailing skate punk.
All right, I think I've pressed all the right buttons. Hello. Welcome once again to the weekly Wednesday Warble. We have 9 songs for you this week, partially because some of them are maybe a little long, but also I had to learn a lot more songs this week than I usually do. So there's one more I wanted to do on the list, but I just did not get to it. So another space travel time, because as it turns out. And I think I was both surprised and not surprised to discover this. Well, first of all, it's like, oh, I haven't written very many songs about space or space travel. That's perhaps a little bit curious. I think people might have expected that I'd have a number of songs about space and space travel, myself included. But then the other thing that was kind of surprising is that everybody else has written a song about space travel. So we could have been doing love songs or songs about space travel. That's what all songs are about. So I'm going to start on Earth, and I'm going to start with a cover that you have heard me do here before. But we will move from Earth into space. I was a highwayman. We're going to start in the correct key. I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a fair maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive. I was a sailor, I was bored upon the tide, and with the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner round the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they say that I was killed was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that gray tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. And I'll always be around and around and around and around and around. And then here's the verse that pertains to today's theme. I'll sail a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps one day become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain, and I'll be back again and again and again and again and again and again and again. All right. So we're going to move now into a song. We're going to do a David Bowie song. And I was trying to think when I first actually heard this, and I'm not sure if my first real noticing or hearing, I feel like I must have been in rooms where this song was playing, but I had a roommate and she had a couple friends who were in a band, and they popped by and they sang this song together. It just, one of them was playing the guitar and they were both singing. And I was like, wow, what was that? That sounded really cool. And they were just like, it's David Bowie. But anyway, so I sort of here's a really famous David Bowie song that I kind of learned in the traditional folk music style. That is by hearing someone play it at a party. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. The stars look very different today, for here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do. love her very much. She knows ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? And here am I floating in my round gown, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. There. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. It's going to be a bit of a day of arranging things for folky guitar. There we go. So there's Space Oddity, and so this next one, it's funny because I almost. This is a song that every time I hear it, I think, oh God, that's a good song. I should cover it, and then I don't think to write it down or whatever. And I was, putting the songs together for this. And this song, this was kind of one of the last songs that made it onto the list because I almost forgot about it. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. This great song is about space. All right. You should also recognize this one. This is Elton John. She packed my bags last night pre-flight. 0 hour 9 a.m. I'm gonna be high as a kite by I think I started singing in the wrong key. Oh, also, I haven't heard, I'm just going to start this again, but I'm going to say, I feel that I don't know the song. I feel like I've heard of Space Cowboy by the Steve Miller Band, and I feel like I've probably heard Space Cowboy by the Steve Miller Band, but I can't bring it to mind. But there were so many space songs that I know that this is a theme that we're going to come up again, so I will take a look at that for the next time. Packed my bags last night pre-flight. 0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find. Very strange. I seem to have completely lost the melody, friends. I was really excited about this one. I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse up here alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids.
understand. It's just my job 5 days a week. Rocket Man, Rocket Man. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings the ground again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a Rocket Man, Rocket Man, burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a Rocket Man, burning out his fuse up here alone. Burning out his fuse up here alone. There we go. Rocket Man. You're going to hear me sing that one again because I've been wanting to cover that one forever. And that brings us into, this is the first, what's funny is that both of those songs kind of mention, which I think is not unusual. Both of those songs mention the family back home. And this is the first song where we start getting a mention of like, just what is going to happen? What is going to happen on space? If we go to Mars, like, can we raise kids there? Which is a big question that we have in this day and age. And I'm going to play you a song of mine that you'll never have heard before because I've never performed it. And in fact, there's still room. I'm planning to record it on another album that has all songs sort of about exploration and stuff. But this song also talks about, okay, so we get to space, what then? What next? And I wrote this song because a friend of mine said, I think it was like one of those times where they were starting to talk about like getting people together for a manned mission to space, to Mars. And so there was like, my friend was talking about like, you know, wouldn't that be weird, like to go on that? Because, you know, what happens once you get to Mars and like you're kind of stuck there? And I was like, yeah, what does happen when you get to Mars? So that's what this song is about. Again, we'll play it in the right key. Certain sits in the past, sits 30 million miles behind me, I mustn't look back. The sign called for volunteers, sound of body, strong in body, sound of mind, free of bindings to the present, specimens of humankind. Of watchful eyes, 3 years on Earth but apart, measuring fluids and traits, adaptability. 3 years to demonstrate my resolve and fortitude, prove myself worthy of the chance at the stars. 3 hard years that I survived, 3 years now I claim my prize, carry us to the unknown, make this experiment a home. Taking first tentative strides, myself in the red dirt. Challenge was mine to accept, embrace this alien world. My children will never know the change of seasons as I have. Never smell ocean air or taste the fruits of the black earth. But my children will survive a distant sun, a different sky, comfort found in fear and panic, unfettered by gayest ties. So there you go, Mars. I think that's just called Mars. I think all the songs... I was about to say, I think all the songs I have for that collection have very short one-word names, but then it occurs to me that there's another song with a very long name, so that's not true. There we go, there's Mars. That's sort of been sitting... This is a song, I must have started writing it many years ago, and then sort of at the beginning of the pandemic, I revisited it and sort of finished the lyrics. It's one I'm hoping to get back into the set list, because I need to play it a bunch of times to finish it. But we're going to take a brief interlude. We're going to take a brief leaving of actual space, an actual Mars, and sing a song about metaphorical Mars. Hey, Neotupi, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're doing 9 songs about space travel today. So this is a John Prine song, because everyone has a song about space, even John Prine. I just found out yesterday that Linda goes to Mars. Every time I sit and look at pictures of used cars, she'll turn on her radio and sit down in her chair and look at me across the room as if I wasn't there. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wish she wouldn't leave me here alone. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wonder if she'd bring me something home. Something, somewhere, somehow took my Linda by the hand and secretly decoded our sacred wedding band. And when the moon shines down upon our happy, humble home, her inner space gets tortured by some outer space unknown. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wish she wouldn't leave me here alone. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wonder if she'll bring me something home. Now I ain't seen no saucers except the ones upon the shelf. And if I ever see one, well, I keep it to myself. If there's life out there somewhere beyond this life on Earth, then Linda must have gone out there and got her money's worth. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wish she wouldn't leave me here alone. Oh, my stars, my Linda's gone to Mars. Well, I wonder if she'd bring me something home. All right, so we're gonna stay a little bit foolish, and we're gonna sing. We're gonna do 2 songs that are still sort of well, actually, everything today is a bit of a work in progress, because a lot of them are songs I added specifically for today's show. But I knew I wanted to do this one. Yeah, and it's on German Afternoons, I think, that album. But it's a good one. I go to Mars sometimes when I'm sitting in the living room. All right. this is one that will be quite different from the original. We had a lot of luck on Venus. We always had a ball on Mars. Meeting all the groovy people. We've rocked the Milky Way so far. We danced around with Borealis. We're space trucking round the stars. Come on. We'll play the simplified version today. Remember when we did the moonshot? The pony trekker led the way. We'd move to the Canaveral moon stop, and every night we'd dance and sway. We got music in our solar system. We're space trucking round the stars. A fireball we rode was moving, but now we've got a new machine. Yeah, the freak said, man, those cats can really swing. They got music in their solar system. They've rocked around the Milky Way. They dance around the Borealis. They're space trucking every day. I haven't decided how I'm going to actually sing the chorus of that song yet, but I really wanted to do like a little Baroque line, but I didn't have time to really settle on something. But that's sort of a little teaser of things that I'm going to add into my set list, because I think that's a really fun lyrical song. That's Deep Purple, by the way, which was a big my oldest brother's favorite band was Deep Purple, and we listened to a lot of Deep Purple in the house growing up, and I'm a big fan. And I put these next two songs back to back because Deep Purple have a real jazz background, and this next one. This is a little teaser of one of my viewers on Twitch requested this, and I've been having a little trouble with the intro, so we're going to do Frank instead of Tony, because Frank doesn't even bother with the intro. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter or Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. a little teaser of that. And what do we have next? Now we have we have the second original I said there. I've written 2 songs about space. And this song came about a little bit strangely, a lot strangely. There was a moment, thank you, Nancy. There was a moment last year when there was, what was there? There was galactica.org, it was kind of before ChatGPT came out, and it was a AI program that had been fed scientific research papers in Wikipedia. And so it was open to the public for like, I don't know, a day and a half. And me and my husband and my Twitch viewers and other friends and other people around the world amused ourselves to no end typing ridiculous things and seeing what it would spit out. And I typed in, tell me about trees, tell me about Jupiter. And I typed in, tell me about trees, tell me about Jupiter, because I just learned the Japanese word for Jupiter, which is tree star. And I was like, I bet there's no trees there. But anyway, I typed this in, and it told me, the AI told me that Tell Me About Trees, Tell Me About Jupiter is a short story by sci-fi author Philip K. Dick about an alien named David who came from the Orion Arm, but now lives in New York City, and he'd become obsessed with the evolution of the Earth's ecosystem. And I just took what the EI spit out and turned it into a song. So let's see. David is an alien. He comes from a planet far away in the Orion Arm. You find that in the Milky Way, but now he lives in New York City. He has no memory of life before arriving in the solar system. And he's developed quite a fascination with the Earth's ecosystem. He's formed a theory. Earth's ecosystem is a living organism. A living organism evolved over millions of years. He's come to believe that just as humankind evolved from apes, that from a single species, Earth's ecosystem was formed. David decides to observe Jupiter, gift of a telescope from a local man. Notices Jupiter caught up in a war between its moons. To take a closer look, a spaceship he must fly, and from the safety of its orbit he observes the ecosystem of the Earth is changing. He's formed a theory. Earth's ecosystem is a living organism. A living organism evolved over millions of years. One that's still evolving. He's come to believe that just as humankind evolved from apes, that from a single species, Earth's ecosystem was formed. David begins observing other planets. He takes a look at Venus, casts his eye on Mars, observes the ecosystems of the planets changing. The Earth is no exception. He soon discovers that the sun too is evolving. David concludes the universe is in transition. The Earth is just a small part of the whole. to the center of the galaxy. He discovers that the universe is not evolving. He discovers that the universe in fact is decaying. He's formed a theory. Earth's ecosystem is a living organism. A living organism evolved over millions of years. He's come to believe that just as humankind evolved from apes, that from a single species, Earth's ecosystem was formed. According to David is the name of that song. All right, we've come to the final. I'm ending on this one because a lot of these songs about space. Well, I think I managed to start. I'm hoping I arranged the set list. We kind of took a little dip in the universe because it's kind of silly, but it's also, it ends with. It ends by saying the universe is decaying, which isn't the happiest thing. But I've otherwise kind of tried to arrange the set list so that it gets steadily happier. And so this final song, this final song is it's a song by a Canadian prog band from the 70s called Kyla Tilley, which makes sense that they wrote this song and recorded and released it. What does not really make sense is that the Carpenters covered it, but I think it's somewhat positive. It's positive and it's silly, so I felt it was a good song to go out on. And it's going to be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. I apologize. I think that's all I have to say about this. I woke up one day early this year with this stuck in my head, so I think it was foretold that I would have to add it to my set list. In your mind you have capacities, to telepath messages through the vast unknown. Please close your eyes and concentrate with every thought you think upon the recitation we're about to sing. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft. You've been observing our Earth, and we'd like to make a contact with you. We are your friends. Of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary quite extraordinary craft. Please come in peace, we beseech you, or Earth may never survive. So do come, we beg you. Please, interstellar policeman, won't you give us a sign? Give us a sign that we've reached you. With your mind you have the ability to form and transmit thought energy far beyond the norm. You close your eyes, you concentrate, together that's the way to send the message we declare World Contact Day. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of misadventure planetary, most extraordinary craft. So there we go. That's been your weekly Wednesday Warble for today. Thank you for joining me on this brief excursion into outer space, mostly through the 70s. Most of those songs came from the 70s. It was a spacey time. Next week, the theme is Earth Day. So we'll be going back to, it turns out that I've written very few songs about outer space, but I've written a lot of songs about the Earth. So, that last song is nice, isn't it? It sounded great, unique subject matter. Thank you, David. I'm glad you enjoyed that. And I think you can look forward to most of those songs popping up here and there. Particularly the Calling Occupants one, which is much longer. The Carpenters do like a 7-minute version that has a skit at the beginning. It's very strange. But anyway, it's quite, let's all be friends, which I thought was the way we should end the show. So I will be back next week. I will be back next week for the weekly Wednesday Warble. We'll be back to mostly originals and all songs to celebrate Earth Day and the environment. So take great care, everybody. And we'll see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week.